In this video, I'll show you how to build 3 different ribbon shapes using pure CSS. If you ask a question like, where will I use it? The answer is, if you are providing different discount offers, or let's say you are launching brand new services or any online products, then this might be the better way to inform your clients. Without further ado, let's start. Hello and namaste everyone, this is Jitsaru with Coding Design. Welcome to our channel. If you are new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's create index.html file. Inside that, if I type exclamation sign and hit that tab button, then you will get this HTML5 boilerplate. Now let's change the title. For the title, I'm giving 3 cool ribbon shapes using pure CSS. It's an CSS trick, so I'm writing the CSS trick. Now within the body tag, let's create div with class name card. Within that div, I'm creating span tag with class name ribbon. It's the first ribbon shape that I'm creating with pure CSS, so I'm writing the -1. With the help of live server extension, let's open this index.html file in our default browser. In your browser, now you won't be able to see any kind of changes. So let's create a style.css file. Just below the title tag, let's keep the link for our style.css file. Within the style.css file, within our root pseudo class, let's declare CSS variable name primary, and I'm giving the linear gradient color. For the direction, let's give to right. For the first color, I'm giving blue. For the second color, cyan. Now in order to prevent browser's default margin and padding, for our inverse selector, I'm giving margin and padding of 0. For the box sizing, I'm giving border box. And also for the font family, let's give sans serif. Similarly, for the body tag, let's give the minimum height of 100 VH. And also I'm giving light gray background color. It's time to install this div with class name card as well as span with class name ribbon1. For the class card as well as for the class ribbon, we'll give different styles, okay? Now let's style that div with class name card. Let's give width of 16 rem. For the height, I'm giving 22 rem. For the background color, I'm giving white color. And also let's give some rounded corners. For that, I'm giving border radius of 0.8 rem. Similarly, for the box shadow, I'm giving x offset of 0. For the y offset, 1 rem. For the spread value, I'm giving 2 rem. And for the color, let's give this black color with alpha value. Now let's bring this card exactly at the center of our browser. For that, for our body tag, I'm giving display to flex. With the help of this align items to center, you'll be able to bring vertically center. Similarly, I'm giving justify content to space around. Now let's style this span with class name ribbon1. I'm giving width and height of 8 rem. And for the border, I'm giving border width of 0.1 rem. For the border style, solid, and for the border color, crimson. Now you can see you won't be able to create that square shape. It's because class ribbon1, that is our span tag, which is the inline element. So if I give the position of absolute, and as you know, class ribbon1's parent element, that is our div with class name card. So I'm giving the position of relative. Now you will be able to see that square shape box. Let's take that box a little bit towards the left side. For that, I'm giving left of -0.8 rem. And also for the top, I'm giving same -0.8 rem. So this is the exact position that I want. Now you can duplicate the same code and bring it down there. Now for the class ribbon1, let's give the before pseudo element. Once again, let's give position of absolute. And content of a string new. Be careful, whenever you are giving pseudo element, you must keep that content property, otherwise you won't be able to create that before or after pseudo elements. So it's really necessary. And let's give that linear gradient background color. So I'm giving background of CSS variable primary. As you can see, within our primary CSS variable, we have stored their linear gradient color. And also I'm giving width of 145%. For the height, 2 rem. Let's change the text color to white. Now let's bring this text exactly at the center. For that, let's give text align to center, which will bring horizontally center. Now in order to bring vertically center, you can give line height. So I'm giving the same value that I have given for our height, which is 2 rem. Now with the help of this code, you will be able to bring your text exactly at the center. Similarly, I want to rotate this before pseudo element. For that, I'm giving transform rotate. Let's give 45 degree. Okay, I think I need to give the -45 degree. Before that, let's comment out this code. Let's bring this before pseudo element exactly at the center of our square box. For that, for our class ribbon1, if I give display to flex, justify content to center, and align items to center, Now you will be able to see that before pseudo element that is exactly at the center of our square box. Now let's uncomment that transform code. Now I want to take this ribbon a little bit upside. For that I'm giving translate y. So I'm not giving any random value. I'm giving the same heights half value. So I'm giving -1 rem. Okay, this is the exact position that I want. Now we need to create some shadow just downside of our ribbon. So for that you can duplicate the same code. And let's change that before pseudo element to after pseudo element. For our after pseudo element, you can select this whole code and bring it down there. For our after pseudo element, I want to give content to empty string. Let's change our width to 0.8 rem, and also I'm giving the same value for our height. Similarly, let's change that background color. I'm giving navy blue color. Let's take it to the pop-up position. For that, I'm giving left to 0, and if I give bottom to 0, okay, this is the exact position where I want. Now you can create same shape with the help of box shadow, which is a kind of trick. So for the after pseudo element, let's give the box shadow. For the x offset, I'm giving 7.2 rem. Again, this is not the random value. As you can see, for our ribbon 1, I have given their width of 8 rem, and for our after pseudo element, I have given their width of 0.8 rem. If we subtract these two values, then our result will be 7.2 rem, and I'm giving that same value for our x offset, and also for our y offset, I want to give the same value, but this time negative. So let's give -7.2 rem, and once again for our color, we'll give the same navy blue color. Now you can see this is exact position that I want, but you can see that two square boxes, they are in front of our ribbon. So let's take it back. For that, I'm giving the index of -100. Now it's almost done. For our class ribbon 1, if I give overflow to hidden, did you see that? You will be able to get that beautiful ribbon shape. Now you can get rid of that red line border. Let's comment out that code. Did you see that? Now it's looking pretty cool. Similarly, now we can select this code and duplicate it. And for our span, let's give class name of ribbon 2. You can comment out that first ribbon. Now it's time to give proper style for our ribbon 2. For our class ribbon 2, you can copy the same code that we have given for our class ribbon 1 and paste it down there. Instead of this border, we'll give now background color. I'm giving same primary CSS variable where we have stored linear gradient color, and you can change that class ribbon 1 to 2. Similarly, we'll change height to 3 rem. For our width, I'm giving 90%, and also let's change the position. I'm giving left to -1.1 rem, and for our top value, I'm giving 1.6 rem. This is the position where I want my ribbon, but if you want any specific position, then you can take it to that. Now we don't need this flexbox properties. You can remove that. And for our span tag, let's give text for shell. And I want to change that text color to white, and let's bring our text exactly at the center. For that, we'll take the same previous code. You can select this text align and line height value. Let's copy and paste it down there, but we need to change that line height's value because right now we have the height of 3 rem. So let's give the same value 3 rem. Now you can see you'll be able to get that text exactly at the center. Now instead of that overflow, let's give border radius. I'm giving 2 rem. I want to remove that bottom left border radius, so I'm giving border bottom left radius to 0. Now you can duplicate the same code and bring it down there. Now for our ribbon 2, let's give the before pseudo element. Once again, I need to give the content. I'm giving content to empty string, and also let's give position of absolute. Similarly, for the width, I'm giving 1.1 rem. For the height, 2 rem. For our background color, let's give navy blue color. Let's take it to proper position. For that, I'm giving left of 0, and I'm giving top to 3 rem. It's not the random value. I'm giving the same value that I have given for our height. And I'm giving border bottom left radius to 1 rem. You can duplicate the same code, and let's give the comma. Instead of that before pseudo element, you can give after pseudo element. So for our before and after pseudo element, we are giving same CSS common properties. You can duplicate this after pseudo element and you can bring it down there. Let's duplicate this border bottom left radius, and let's bring this border radius and background color just down there. Let's change that border bottom to border top left radius. Now you can see you'll be able to get that semicircle shape, and once again you can duplicate that before pseudo element and bring it down there. Now with the help of before pseudo element, we'll cover that space or gap that you can see between these two shapes. So for our before pseudo element, I'm giving the background color of blue. I'm giving the same color color that I have given for our ribbon, now you will be able to see that curve shape, so which is looking pretty cool. So this was the horizontal ribbon shape, but if you want to create same vertical ribbon shape, then you just need to change position of your before and after pseudo elements, width and height, as well as border radius. Okay. Similarly, you can select this code and duplicate it, and let's comment out that code. Let's change that span class to ribbon3, and also instead of that for cell, let's give new. Now for our class ribbon3, you can copy this same code that I have given for our class ribbon2 and paste it down there. Let's change that class ribbon2 to 3. For our background color, let's give the same linear gradient color, but this time I want to change the direction, so I am giving separately. We don't need this bottom code, you can remove that. Let's change our width to 3 rem. For our height, I'm giving 5 rem. Let's take it to the pop-up position. For that, I'm giving left of 1 rem. For the top value, I'm giving -1 rem. So this is the exact position that I want. Now you can duplicate this class ribbon3 and bring it down there. Let's give the before pseudo element. For the before pseudo element, once again, I'm giving the position of absolute. For the content, I'm giving empty string, and for our border, let's give the width of 0.5 rem. For the border style, I'm giving solid, and for our color, let's give navy blue color. And that 0.5 rem, that is not any random value, that is the half value that we have given for our top value. Once again, let's take it to proper position. I'm giving right to 0. I think we need to take just outside of that. So if I give right of -1 rem, okay, it is exactly at the right, but you can see small gap is visible. I don't know why these values, they are not working properly, but it must have worked. I don't know. So let's comment out for now. Let's duplicate this border, and for the border width, I'm giving 0.5 to rem. And if I give right to -1.05 rem, I don't know what is wrong with that previous value, but if you have any idea, let me know in the comment box. Now this is the exact position that I want. Now I want to create right angle triangle. So it's a trick. If I give border right color to transparent, let's duplicate it and let's change that border right to border top color. Now did you see that? You will be able to create that right angle triangle. Now you can select this code and duplicate it. Just bring it down there. Let's change that before pseudo element to after pseudo element. For our after pseudo element, once again, I'm giving border. Let's give width of 1.5 rem. So again, this is not any random value. This is the half value that we have given for our width, which was 3 rem. Now for the border style, let's give solid. For the color, I'm giving transparent. Similarly, this time I want to create triangle shape. For that, if I give border bottom color to white, so I'm giving the same color that we have given for our card. So if you are giving different color, then you need to give the same color that you have given for your card. Now in your browser, you can see we have created our triangle shape, but this is not exactly the position that I want. Now you need to change the position of our triangle. For that, let's give left to 0, and if I give bottom to 0, now did you see that? You will be able to create proper ribbon shape. But if you have noticed carefully that our new text, that is not exactly at the center, so I think we need to change that line heights value. So now instead of that 3 rem, let's give 3.5 rem. Now you can see in your browser, I think this is looking pretty cool. Let's uncomment these all codes. Now you can see it's not responsive, but you can make it responsive. By pressing F11 key, let's take our browser to the full screen. So you can see we did create 3 different ribbon shapes with the help of pure CSS. If you want to use these different ribbons and different cards, as you can see, I haven't given any proper design for our cards. So I have already created separate 2 videos where I have shown you how to design product cards as well as service cards. Videos link will be given in the description below, you can check out. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did learn something, smash that like button. If you have any kind of queries, let me know in the comment box. Share this video if you think someone needs it. And also, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell icon. Remember, there is always more to learn, so keep learning.